Hey, good day, folks. Welcome to another edition of Lumberjack Logic Live. I'm your host, Neil Johnson. So excited to be with you and very, very excited to share this report with you. It's going to be awesome. But we just had some breaking news come in that I've got to share with you quickly. Do me a favor, though, as I'm doing that, smash that like, chat in with where you're from. Let's help get this stream out there. I have also, just so you know, I did post this to Rumble and X. I've never posted to X at the same time. I'm going to see how that goes. So it's going to be a little bit wild. Lisa's on. She's modding for me today. So thank you, Lisa. But we've got a big announcement here, folks. The Supreme Court has instructed the district courts to stop the endless barrage of nationwide injunctions against President Trump. This would not have been possible without tireless work from our excellent lawyers at the Justice Department and our Solicitor General, John Sauer. This Department of Justice will continue to zealously defend POTUS's policies and his authority to implement them. This is a big announcement, folks. Don't kid yourself for a second. These district court judges, with their constant injunctions and temporary restraining orders against Donald Trump, has been the bane of the existence of the district courts. That's why they sued. Right now, they are suing the district courts that went to the 4th District. And I don't know if this was part of it because this just dropped from Pam Bondi, but this is great news. So again, please smash that like, because this is fantastic. But today's stream is actually me covering something else, and I think probably the greatest story I've had to cover all week. So as we roll into this, I want to show you this little flashback picture. Here's Maryland man, Maryland dad, whatever you want to call him, sipping, and he's having a little coffee, and looks like they got some sort of a foo-foo drink there. And this is with Chris Van Hollen, the senator out of Maryland. And I think people are finally done with this. What's interesting about this is the liberals fought to bring him back to the United States. Folks, it worked against them so brilliantly. I am telling you what, this is the greatest story I have had to cover. And we're going to give you a few flashback things about Maryland man. That's right, Maryland dad. But I think this is what everybody is feeling right now. Jay Rapid Response guy, I don't know who he is, but he posted on X, confirmed Kilmar Abrego Garcia will be removed to a different country after yet another activist judge tried releasing him back into the streets of America. Any place in Africa works for me. If you don't recall, there was a ruling that just came out that gave the Trump administration the ability to deport these people to not their countries of origin, but other countries. South Sudan has been one of the countries that's picking those people up. So I want to share with you a clip here of Stephen Miller, just so you kind of get the background on that piece. This was a huge, monster ruling by the Supreme Court, and I believe it went 6-3. Imagine that.
Moved a lower court's injunction that had blocked the administration from deporting migrants to countries that they have no connection to. White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller celebrating the win on Hannity last night. Watch.
This is an incredible victory, the Supreme Court win. It allows President Trump, as the law has long said, but the courts have blocked, it allows President Trump to send illegal aliens convicted of rape, murder, homicide, assault, battery, crimes against children to any country around the world that is willing to accept them.
And DHS spokesperson Tricia McLaughlin is telling Fox News this, quote, if these activist judges had their way, aliens who are so uniquely barbaric that their own countries won't take them back, including convicted murderers, child rapists, and drug traffickers, would walk free on American streets. She continued this, quote, fire up the deportation plane.
Fire up the deportation planes, my fine friends. It is just absolutely incredible what's going on. The rulings that we're getting right now, and I was just checking over on Rumble for some reason, just so you know, I'm not ignoring you. The comments are not coming over from StreamYard. Again, I wasn't sure how that was going to work. And it doesn't appear to be working all that well. There always seems to be some problem interfacing with Rumble. Sorry about that, but it is what it is. So here we go, folks. On to, I want to share a throwback clip from Rachel Maddow and think about just how bad she's freaking out. Now, there is another part to this story. If you remember Reid Hoffman, the billionaire activist who gave all that money to oppose Donald Trump, He also gave money to E. Jean Carroll. He is also, by a thread, involved in this Kilmar Abrego Garcia issue. And I'm going to show you how that works out here. I'm sure Reid Hoffman is not happy.
You might remember on Friday we showed you people protesting outside a federal courthouse in Maryland. That was during a court hearing on the.
By the way, folks, is Rachel Maddow? I'm a serious question, and I'm very serious about this. Is she a he? Is that a dude? I mean, what? Or is it just a lesbian woman? I'm not sure, really. I mean, like, her voice is so deep, and she tries to posture like a man. What is it? I'm curious in the chat. What do you guys think?
Case of a Maryland father, a man named Kilmars Abrego Garcia.
A Maryland father, you see.
He was driving to his mother's house with his nonverbal autistic 5-year-old son in the car with him.
Folks, you better feel sorry for Kilmar. He was with his nonverbal autistic son. This is nuts.
When he was stopped and arrested, the Trump administration then flew him to a notorious high-security prison in El Salvador, despite a previous court order specifically forbidding them from sending him to that country. He's not known to be a member of this Venezuelan gang that Trump said he wanted to send all the gang members to that prison. He does not have a criminal record.
Whoa! Did Rachel Maddow just lie to us? She would never do that, would she? Rachel Maddow lying to us? Oh my gosh, folks. This is wild. I'm going to share another one. It's not that I'm really excited about Lindsey Graham, but he did ask these questions, so he is in this. Just hold your nose when Lindsey asked the question, but watch the answers. That's what's so great.
On your time as a DEA agent in the field, particularly in Mexico, these tattoos are consistent with MS-13 associations.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Do you know of any other set of combinations that would suggest some other organization this represents?
With this particular one, no, sir.
So there's Terrence Cole, former DEA agent, testifying that those tattoos are consistent with MS-13. Okay, so do you trust the mainstream lying media, or do you trust a former DEA agent who worked with this stuff all the time? Okay, no gang affiliations. Remember too, and I'm gonna share. This gal is awesome. I don't know who she is, but it was a TikTok video, and I'm gonna share this with you so you can kind of get a little reminder of just exactly who Kilmars Abrego Garcia is, and then we'll go to this other news.
By your comment, you're someone that watches the false news or the fake news like CNN because you're.
So read the comment. It says, "Pray and then send an innocent man to El Salvador for committing no crime." The hypocrisy. Okay, that's the comment she's responding to.
Very ill-informed. Kilmars Garcia is an El Salvadorian citizen. He was transported or deported back to his nation of origin. He had 2 immigration court rulings that he was actually an MS-13 member, okay?
Do you guys remember this? He had 2 rulings. MS-13 member. He was deported back to El Salvador, his country of origin. Now, remember when the left was all celebrating because they had to bring him back? This turned against them so greatly.
Involved in sex trafficking. We rightly deported him. And we can't go to El Salvador and say, give us back your citizen. He belongs in El Salvador. He's an illegal alien. He came over here illegally. And that's why in the Supreme Court, it was actually a ruling of 9-0 in favor of the Trump administration ruling to deport his butt. If you're going to comment with the claim that you're sure about, please do your research. And please just stop watching CNN.
Yeah, please just stop watching CNN unless you want to make fun of them. I do that all the time. But you remember this guy, there was the police body cam footage. Actually, I think that was out of Tennessee, wasn't it? I think the Tennessee Star broke that. The body cam footage that showed him in a human trafficking operation. And the Justice Department under Joe Biden said, oh, you got to let him go. The FBI said, you got to let him go. This is absolutely nuts. Okay, so now... Well, here, this is what they're doing right now, okay? Because this is so great. I mean, here, I'm going to go to this one. So here's the news that broke the other day.
Justice Department says a man who the Trump administration mistakenly deported to El Salvador but is now in the U.S. will be taken into Immigration and Customs Enforcement custody.
I don't think he was mistakenly deported. I think they wanted to deport him.
They say it will happen after he's released from federal custody. I'm talking about Kilmar Abrego Garcia. He was ordered to remain in custody until at least tomorrow. He's awaiting trial on smuggling charges. He has pleaded not guilty in that case. Abrego initially entered the U.S. illegally. Abrego's case is one of at least several in the country where an individual is facing both federal and immigration cases at the same time.
This is so great because the judge ordered that he be released, okay, out of federal custody. That's just so awesome. So now ICE is going to take him back, and you're most likely going to send his butt to Africa.
Joining us now, NBC News senior Homeland Security correspondent Julia Ainsley. So, Julia, this update from the Justice Department came down just a few minutes ago. Bring us up to speed on his case.
This update is a result of what the judge asked the Justice Department to do, and that was to coordinate with DHS to figure out if he would be taken into ICE custody and to make sure that if he is, that custody is somewhere near the vicinity of this court, because as Abrego's lawyers argued, he needs to be able to defend himself against these federal charges on smuggling. There was a chance he could have been taken to somewhere like Louisiana or Texas. His lawyer said that would be very difficult. It would be hard for him to have access to legal counsel there. It's actually kind of unusual that we would get kind of a showing of the cards from the Trump administration of one agency talking to another like this in court. Oftentimes, the Justice Department will comply with an order, release someone from federal custody, and ICE swoops in and arrests them in the parking lot of the courthouse or in the courthouse. In this case, they had to talk because it was the judge's order.
Yes, they had to talk because it was the judge's order. By the way, I opened up my Rumble on my phone, so I do see a Teresa Red and UL32. I don't know what's going on X. I'm sure there's a few comments dropping over there. Most of you are watching over on YouTube. But this is absolutely beautiful. Okay, everything the left has done has worked against them. First off, the optics of defending this guy who is, we have him for human smuggling, we have him as a gang member, we have him as a white beater, and now what they're doing is they're running his wife around on TV at press conferences, and she has obviously had some coaching, okay? I want you to watch this video, and I want you to pay special attention to her language, and I'd like you to comment in the chat if you're picking up the language cues, the word choices that she has been fed to tell this story. I'm saying, understand the left knows language. That's why the creative profession, a lot of the creative professionals are in the field of they're in lefty la la land. I've worked in this field. Okay, I do need to mention too my sponsor really quickly. Get your free info kit on gold by texting the word lumberjack to 989-898. Again, that's lumberjack to 989-898. There is no obligation, just useful information, folks. I bought gold. Let me think. I bought some gold. This was a little over, would it be almost 2 years ago? It's just a little over a year ago I bought some gold. It's at 40% 40% from when I bought it. I don't know, man. You go do what you want to, but I am a big believer, and I want to own the physical gold and silver. And so you, from Birch Gold, can get physical gold and silver. Silver's been on a tear as well. Some people call it poor man's gold. You can get more of it, and the ratios are out of whack from what they have been historically. So you can get that as well. You can convert an existing IRA or 401k into physical gold with Birch Gold. They can explain that. You just text the word lumberjack to 989-898. No obligation, just useful information, folks. All right, back to this. Okay, so watch again. Please comment on the language here. Comment on the language.
It's been 106 days since he was abducted by the Trump administration and separated from our family. Over 3 months, we've had to stand and plead for his liberation. He missed birthdays, graduations, and Father's Day. And today, he misses our wedding anniversary. I find myself again torn from my children's, traveling back to Nashville to fight for Kilmar's freedom.
Okay, I'm telling you, there has been 3 word drops so far. Are you guys getting it?
Instead of celebrating our love surrounding by families, I'm here. Yet I'm not alone. Today, in honor of Kilmar and our wedding anniversary, I will celebrate our fight and the fight for all those who stood with us and refused to give up. We will not stop until my husband is free. Kilmar, if you can hear me, I want you to know that all these hardships have only strengthened our love and deepened our faith in God. Our children are waiting for that call.
We're up to like 10 coded words. She was coached on this. I am telling you 100%. I'm watching the chat. A couple of you've gotten a couple of them so far.
Knowing that you're on your way home to them. Kilmar should have never been taken away from us. This fight has been the hardest thing in my life, but being embraced by community powers and by seeking God, remaining our guiding lights, is the only way to stay strong and to one day be reunited as a family.
Actually, you can be reunited as a family by simply telling, hey, we're just going to go with Kilmar. Apparently, he's going to Africa. You can go visit Africa. I'm not joking about this, okay? I do care about people, but this is crap. And if you buy into the leftist narrative and you're willing to say, oh, no, we can't deport him and his family in separation and play that game, I'm telling you, you are giving up your country. Understand, look, we are not to build walls in our personal life with people. That is not a thing we are to do. Okay, biblically, it is not sound. As a country, we are to have walls. We are to have laws. We are to have borders. Okay, that's real. Okay, we protect our homeland from attacks. Okay, that's a real thing. I am telling you now. Some of the language drops. I saw a couple of you got some of them, but I'm curious. I wanted to see more comments on that. I wanted to see if you guys were picking up on what she was coached on. Okay. So like Dan had love, honor, and God. I loved Rainmaker. She better not leave out Christmas. Deport her to that. But where was I think Lisa Bailey got one, and now I can't even find it. Where is it? Abducted. Abducted was one of the words. They used freedom. They used liberation. They used a lot of words for specific reasons here, folks. This is all about language. So it's exactly the same, like surrounding quote unquote gay marriage, which I always refer to as homosexual privileges, because everybody always had the right to get married, as marriage was always defined as the union of a man and a woman. Okay. You can get married as a man to a man because that wasn't in the actual historical definition of marriage that has always been. Okay. So it wasn't about, equal rights. It was about special privileges, and they use these words. So that's why they call it gay, not homosexual, because that was an ad executive back in the 1950s who was a homosexual who determined that there was a visceral reaction to that word. So then he coined the term gay. There's a whole history to the left's wordsmithing of words, and you need to understand what they're doing. Otherwise, you'll easily be manipulated, because people are manipulated every day. When they cloak the argument in love, everybody understands the need to love and be loved. So then they win the argument as long as you give them that word. You can't give these words up, folks. I watched something the other day. Absolutely blew my mind. I did not know much about IVF, in vitro fertilization. I'll probably piss some people off here, but I really don't care. It was this touching story about a man and his wife and ovarian cancer and all this. And so they couldn't have a baby. So then they wanted to do IVF. And he talked about looking at the babies in a petri dish. Just imagine this. And choosing the most viable. So they had 4 embryos and they chose one of the 4. What happens to the other 3? It's disgusting. I don't care where you're at in this issue. I really don't. I cannot. I mean, they sent me this to watch as like something that was so good, and it was on a Christian podcast, and he's literally talking about looking at a baby in a petri dish and choosing the most viable one. And he really wanted a boy. And guess what they chose? A boy. That's wrong. I really do not care what anybody says about this. That is wrong. I mean, where are you guys at on this? I mean, how many of you think that's okay? I just can't even believe, as I was watching this, that this was on a Christian podcast, number one, that my Christian friends sent it to me thinking it was a good story, and that this is legal. I didn't know enough about IVF before, and now that I know it, there's a gal who really covers this well on X and actually did a movie about it. And I want to have her on the show now. This is nuts. I can't even believe this crap is going on. So, all right. So I covered these video clips for you. Okay. Most of you are in agreement with me, it looks like. Okay. I'm going to share this now. We're going to go back to this again. Big announcement from Pam Bondi today. A Supreme Court instructed district courts to stop the endless barrage of nationwide injunctions against President Trump. This would not have been possible without the tireless work from our excellent lawyers, the Justice Department, and our Solicitor General, John Sauer. It's a big thing. Now, let's get into more on the Kilmars Abrego Garcia. The New York law firm representing Kilmars Abrego Garcia received $7 million from Reid Hoffman nonprofit. Why is a nonprofit funding E. Jean Carroll's lawsuit, which is clearly motivated by profit? Okay. But this same New York law firm that's defending Kilmars Abrego Garcia is the one that ran E. Jean Carroll's case and received $7 million from Reid Hoffman. Now, what are the odds do you think that Reid Hoffman gave to the firm to represent in this case? Hecker and Fink, the New York law firm representing KBG in the U.S. Department of Justice case against him in Middle Tennessee, was paid $7 million by LinkedIn co-founder and Democrat Party mega donor Reid Hoffman in 2020. The money was earmarked to fund the lawsuits by former advice columnist E. Jean Carroll against President Donald Trump. Submitted a legal filing which the court of his new attorneys, including Roscoe Dean of the national law firm, as well as Sean Hecker of the New York-based law firm Hecker and Fink, previously known as Kaplan, $7 million from Future Republic, the nonprofit established by LinkedIn founder Reid Hoffman in 2019. This is disturbing, but now I want you to look at this. The attorney for Kilmars Abrego Garcia is son of Nashville mayor who created Office of New Americans accused of doxing DHS agents. So do you guys all remember this? This Nashville mayor, okay, doxing Department of Homeland Security agents. Okay, he created this Office of New Americans. Okay, Kilmars Abrego Garcia, now in Tennessee, awaiting trial for his alleged participation in an illegal immigrant smuggling conspiracy after pleading not guilty, requested the U.S. District Court for Middle Tennessee on Tuesday allow him to dismiss his public defenders in favor of new private representation from 4 attorneys, including Roscoe Dean of the Nashville law firm Sherrard, Rowe, Voigt, and Harbison. So 2 firms are representing him. One that was funded by Reid Hoffman in the E. Jean Carroll suit, and then this one out of Nashville. Roscoe Dean, the son of former Nashville Mayor Carl Dean and attorney Ann Davis, is a former federal prosecutor who entered private practice in April, came to represent Abrego Garcia after the New York-based law firm Hecker and Fink sought a local attorney when it was asked to take the El Salvadorian man's case. The entrance into the case by Roscoe Dean, which, though criminal in nature, revolves around allegations of smuggling illegal immigrants, comes almost 11 years after Carl Dean signed Executive Order 45 on September 22nd, 2014, authorizing the creation of the Mayor's Office of New Americans in Nashville. This is This is the tangled web, folks, that is woven throughout all of this. This is why USAID funding, why all these NGOs missing out on their government funds, they are using your tax dollars against you. They are using your tax dollars to destroy your country. And it's all tied together. It's all this one world globalist cabal. It's disgusting. It is absolutely the most disgusting thing there is. And it's taking place. I also want to mention my other sponsor, MyPillow, mypillow.com/lumberjack for big savings and the best sleep products available. This free shipping sale, folks, I tell people, if you are going to get a mattress from MyPillow, their mattresses are fabulous. They are on sale right now. And this free shipping sale for exclusive for Lumberjack listeners extends to the large items. It usually does not, but Mike is doing this and extending it to our audience because you're the best audience he has. I'm telling you, folks, you guys are awesome. Call 1-800-568-2865 to place your order or go to mypillow.com/lumberjack. But I always recommend utilizing the 800 number. So that's going on. Plus the percale sheets on sale. Some of those travel pillows, one of my favorite products, the My Cross, all of it. Go check it out at mypillow.com/lumberjack, folks. But this is absolutely the greatest story right now, folks, that Kilmars Abrego-Garcia, the Democrats fought to bring him back, and now he's getting deported, most likely to Africa. It is absolutely wild. Talk about unintended consequences. Okay. Also, go check out my sponsor, Birch Gold. Text Lumberjack to 989898 to get your free info kit on gold. No obligation, just useful information, folks. I want to thank you so much for joining me. All of you, those on Rumble, those on X, and those on YouTube. SN Rasras, this has been going on a long time. Thank God for exposing it. Reformation takes time. Pray. All right. Deport, deport, and deport, Thomas says. And we'll see you guys on the next episode. All right. Peace out, folks. By the way, I did run a video last night. If you want to see my cows, it's over on my Neil of the North channel. Somebody commented on that. My cows are cool. All right.